Hey, what's going on, guys? This is episode 3 of the Throwing Shade podcast.
What up?
Is it episode 3?
Yeah, it's only episode 3.
Oh shit.
Episode 2 was post or pre-Infinity War. Now we are doing the post-Infinity War discussion. We all saw it last Saturday, and it blew our fucking minds.
It was hype.
So, we wanted to lay this down. David's not here because he's a faggot.
Nope. He said, nope, I got better shit to do.
Right, I got way better shit to do. So we're going to go ahead and just fucking get into it. And we'll see what's going on. Anybody want to start? Let's go ahead and we'll keep it simple. Did everybody enjoy the fuck out of it? Did everybody hate it? Like, what would you say?
I was sad.
You were sad?
I was sad. I think that's safe to say is I was sad.
Oh, yeah. I know nobody listens to our podcast, but just in case somebody does, major spoiler alert before we start.
I think you can't really talk about Infinity without spoiling it, and it's just not fun talking about it.
If you're watching this, you already knew what you were getting into.
Right.
If you're watching this, you were one of the people that went with us to the movie.
We went with a big group of people. I've never done this for a movie.
We should
was
have took
dope.
like a party bus.
I didn't want
It
to.
was dope.
We have more people than Avengers.
Alright, so Alex, what'd you think?
I think me and Austin talked about it a little bit earlier on like what we would scale it from like 1 to 10.
1 to
and
10.
we should pretty much like save this for the ending, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's like an 8 or a 9 for me.
Yeah,
I give it
Like-
a straight 8.
I don't know how to scale it. I gave it a 9, but it's like, no.
I didn't like how, because there's been 17 movies before it, they felt like this didn't full on need a story.
18!
And it really sucked. This is the 18th.
No, I think this is the 19th movie.
I'm pretty sure
That's
this
weird because 16. We have Black Panther and then this.
We're gonna go ahead and count them?
Let's do it.
I'm so done.
Count them.
Alright, so I kind of see what Austin means because, like, if somebody asked me right
Oh, it is
now,
19.
like,
You're welcome.
what's your favorite Marvel movie? Like, Infinity War would be up there, but if you
It's
compared it to, like, just the 3 Avengers movies, I'd say it's above Age of Ultron, but none of them beat Avengers 1.
Dude, it's above Age of Ultron just due to the characters in it.
Yeah.
Age of Ultron may have had like a somewhat lackluster story compared to the first Avengers, but I was more geeking out on characters interacting together. Which I know they were like, that's what they were showing in trailers. It was like, here's Chris Pratt talking to Tony Stark. How cool is that?
Right.
And you're seeing
That-
in like, but overall, it was like, yo, let's skip to the part where he basically in the first 2 minutes gets 2 stones, and then like 15 minutes later he had his 3rd stone, and then it was just game over.
Right.
I mean, yeah, the whole getting together and, you know, talking, that's the part that, like, everybody wants to see is how people interact. Like,
I was excited for it. Like I couldn't wait to see Star-Lord talk to Tony, especially in that trailer they showed them talking about the plan.
Talking about the plan, where
I
he's
was
like,
like,
it was dumb.
I need that.
Let's do
but,
mine.
Like fucking Thor had my best interactions.
Right, because he
With,
was
like, him
interacting
talking-
with fucking
calling,
Rocket.
Like, Rocket.
He kept calling him
Captain,
He kept calling him Rabbit.
Called him Rabbit.
He called him Rabbit the whole movie.
a lot of that. So, I want to give it a 9 because of how the movie handled what it was doing. I mean,
That's actually a lot of what people hate right now.
It's
They don't like the 3
I think
stories
it was-
going on.
I think it was paced well.
I think it was paced
I mean,
very
like
well
they
too.
don't have the emotional like moments to it. There's only one emotional moment I can like actually pull that's like a cliche for the Marvel movies, if there's ever such a thing, and that's the whole Scarlet Witch and Vision thing. I don't count the Tony and Spider-Man one.
No, I don't count that either.
I don't
but
count that as much.
I actually
but
agree 100% with that. The Vision and Scarlet Witch one was definitely the
that was the love romance type.
the love
I
romance one.
I didn't really care about that.
They always do
Like,
one though.
But
Last
I
time
mean,
it was fucking Hulk, and you know, like
see,
it's
yeah,
there's always
the
one.
one thing I give you is Hawk and Black Widow. I hated. The only cool thing about it was that like when you watch the first Avengers and she's just like fucking terrified of him.
Yeah.
And then she can like love the man who's inside of it. But it was just like, Scarlet Witch, Vision, I get that in the comics they're a thing.
Yeah,
so you
it's
could
a
tell
huge
they
thing.
wanted to push that.
Right.
That's the only reason I was fine with it. If I did not know that prior, I'd be like, what the fuck? Okay, one, he's not red anymore. And two, they're just like, I mean, I know there was, it's legitimately only
He
because
just
I knew
needed
it in the
a suit-up
comics.
animation like everybody else did.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
He was just like, I'm fucking, just me.
Like
I
in
mean-
Civil War when they're like, you know, making food for, or he's making food for her, and we're just like, okay, so they're like hanging out, and then boom, it's like, okay, cool. So, I mean, there's so much going on in the movie that they really don't have time to like, hey,
They
so
don't have-
we're
At least
together
it
now.
blossomed a tad bit more than like Age of Ultron started, and we were just like, so wait, are they their thing? Like I don't remember
Banner
that
and
shit.
fucking-
They went
Yeah.
off the grid.
Yeah.
Oh, Scarlet Witch and Vision.
See, I liked Scarlet Witch and Vision because like it was still a little but at least in Civil War you saw it like you were just like, oh, they're kind of into each other, and then enough time passed that I was just like, oh, naturally that would
They've grown fond of each other.
Right.
See,
Right.
and you said earlier about people having problems with like the pacing issues.
Yeah.
Like I get that, but the whole action pacing I thought was great. The whole Thanos pacing I thought was great because I didn't expect him to get all of them this movie.
No.
But at the same time, think of it this way, right? You have Vision and Scarlet Witch, and they're the only romantic, sort of like emotional part of that movie.
They really are.
When they put in small little moments like what's her name, Pepper Potts.
Yeah.
Pepper Potts.
Yeah,
and
Pepper
Tony
talking
at
about
the
Tony.
beginning.
Yeah. See, I thought all of that was the
Spider-Man and
foreshadowing.
I hate that
Tony.
shit.
There was what was the other example I was gonna say? Banner and Black Widow.
Yeah, see,
They had their little interaction.
see, that was weird.
But that
They didn't
was
even
it.
have much though. Like it was just like, oh man, Nat, it's nice to see you, and then she
Right.
was just like, hey, you too, and then you're like
Right.
the first thing I thought was like, are they just gonna like write off their
And
shitty love interest?
Gamora and Star Lord.
Yeah,
they
theirs
had
made
all their
sense.
little couple
Right.
moments, but
Yeah.
nothing was that
That's
big.
because I think they all had the same mindset. Where, like, fucking, you know, Banner got there and he was just like, hey. And she was like, hey. And they're like, this is kind of awkward.
Yeah,
but
'cause
the
I know,
universe is at stake.
I know
so-
Falcon was like, this is
See,
awkward.
And they did it, but then you could tell, like, they were just like, no, like, we're not about
We don't
to
have
just
time
go fight
to-
Loki again. Like,
Right.
we're about to take on the most powerful being.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to bring up, I still can't remember all the examples that I remembered during the movie, but I remember a couple of them. Was I the only one that noticed that in this one they decided to go ahead and like fix some of the things that they've done over the past 4 or 5 movies and just act like it never happened?
See, I tried reading an article about that. It was just like
It was like
was
they
like
were
a-
just like, oh, by the way, Thor gets his fucking eye back from the last movie. Fucking the Sokovia Awards aren't a fucking thing anymore. And it was one other one, and I totally forgot what it was.
Yeah.
But there was like 3 or 4 of those moments, and I was like, yo, are they just fixing all of this shit that they've been working on real quick
Honestly,
right now?
I didn't mind the eye.
I thought he was going to
Dude,
use it.
You know what I was
I thought it was
honest-
going to have some bigger significance other
Yeah,
than like,
other
hey,
than
now
he
you
can
don't have
see.
to wear the eye patch.
Right.
Right.
Well, honestly, the thing that I fucking wanted to see was like Don Cheadle or fucking Rhodey and Falcon. Like, I know it's been a few years, but like they were cool.
Right.
And like Falcon was low key kind of the reason that Rhodes got hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And-
like,
Because he dodged Vision
yeah,
in Civil War, and that's why he
And,
said
and I was surprised that there was no small interaction, not even like a gaze or a look from Rhodey and Vision. I was expecting Rhodey to be like, kind of what's the word
well, I mean,
for
they
it?
were all,
like hardened
like they
towards
were on
Vision.
the same
like,
team,
Yeah.
and like I was just like, okay, whatever. He's but it was weird that like
nobody
not
acted like
Falcon.
nothing happened.
yeah.
Falcon didn't give a shit. Like that. Like Vision.
The
like
only person that had an issue was Tony.
Right.
right.
But even then, Tony, you can tell he didn't want a heavy issue anymore. Because like he pulls out the phone and he's like, the only person I know I can call Steve Rogers, but this is probably going to be awkward. But I think he still
He
wants.
wasn't going to until Banner said call him, like forced him to. And then
well-
as he
well,
went
he never
to,
did.
Yeah.
No,
right.
right.
But like he wasn't going to because he was like, Tony, call him, and he was just like, no, we need him.
That was one of the biggest things, and it's funny. If each time you guys are talking, I keep coming up with things that bother me.
Me too.
Because this movie, I mean, I loved it, but you know, you love it because it's sad and things happen like that you didn't want to happen. I mean, you knew they were going to happen, so there's just things are going to naturally bother you, even though they were very well done. I don't know, like it was cool, you know, watching Star-Lord hang out with Iron Man, but the whole time I'm just like, wait a minute. So I've been watching all these movies up to date, and now Iron Man and Captain America aren't gonna like hang out at all.
At all.
Like that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see how they fix that.
How they fix the Civil War.
Because
That's what
I
was curious
know
about.
that if they did it, it would have been like a pivotal interaction, and they just didn't do it. So
I'm assuming that's in part 2.
because they're both alive, and yeah.
I think that if everyone that got vaporized or whatever did go into the soul world, like the next movie is gonna like do a jump back
In
it's
between
gonna
the
be
two teams.
Yeah.
Team outside,
And
team
we'll
inside.
see fucking.
That's what I'm expecting.
We're gonna see Tony like, because it's what Tony and Mantis.
No,
No, Mantis.
it's
died.
Tony,
It's
and fucking Nebula.
who
Yeah.
now have to get back to Earth.
back to Earth because they're the only ones left on Titan.
And then it's gonna be like, yo, like, what the fuck?
And that could be tying up like loose ends when you think about it, like Iron Man probably reflecting that, like, wow, okay, so I predicted this, I saw this coming, and I wasn't prepared.
Right.
And Nebula's obviously going to be like, oh, Gamora, I'm going to kill my father some more. Like,
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I'm picturing that, like, Nebula is going to be our outside Gamora, and then if the whole inside of this whole gem thing is true, then I think part of their thing is going to be, like, realizing that Gamora's still alive and they need to go find her. And that'll be Peter's huge fucking thing while on the Solar was to try and find her, because maybe Aussie's right, and it does happen to be she's the only one that, you know, that can fucking,
And
I don't want to say
Nebula-
control it, but Gamora's going to be the key out.
I mean, because they've already, like, they said it multiple times that, like, she's the only thing he loves.
Right.
Like, that's it.
And Nebula knows a lot more about these stones than what she lets on.
Right.
Yeah.
Even
Oh,
from
yeah.
the get-go, she was pretty much, after everything had happened, Nebula was like, yeah, this is what happened.
This is what he does.
Right.
Is anyone gonna tell me why Gamora chose to meet up with Thanos? Like, she knew what was gonna happen. Her telling Quill, "Hey, so yeah, I basically have information," and we knew what it was, even though she
Right.
wasn't telling him. Just like, I'm just gonna go hang out with him anyways, just because. It's like, you know he's gonna get it out of
Well,
you.
she
Okay,
was way too
somehow.
confident with her abilities to kill him.
What the thing that bothered me most about that whole interaction is, like, at that point, before all that goes down, Thanos doesn't 100% know. Gamora knows, but he's like, I'm pretty sure. But then she's like, Peter, kill me. Peter, kill me. And he's like, why the fuck would she have the person he loves kills her unless she knows?
He already had Nebula.
Right.
And so he already knew for a fact Gamora knew what the Soul Stone was.
Yeah, I knew from her eye and stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, hey, I know that, shit, what was it? That they were pretty much, you know, trying to beat the clock, and, hey, Thanos is trying to get all these stones. We need to get to him before this and this and this. One thing that really bothered me, and a lot of it's just what they did with the story, is that they made the Guardians and Thor all split up. It's like,
Yeah.
I know that he's like, that Thanos is in a rush to get the stones, but right now he can only get the stones through you guys, at least one of them. So like, why are we rushing through all that? Like, why did Thor and actually, the only thing I really understood was Thor and Rocket.
Thor and Rocket had to do their thing, so he knows
They
he was
had
going
to get the
axe.
big weapon,
The big weapon.
to kill Thanos.
Right.
So like, why did everyone split up? I mean, I know there was that whole hilarious, you know, Quill versus Thor thing with like the whole who's in charge. And you got
Right.
your deep voice out, don't you? Right
But, like,
now?
it is kind of weird that they were like, okay, we have to go to the Collector and get it before him. Like, I kind of get that, but, like, at the same time, like, as soon as it blows my mind that, like Aussie said, Gamora just 100% thought she could kill him. So they're like, oh yeah, even if we see him, I got him. No fucking problem. And everybody's like, cool, let's do that.
Yeah. I think one of my biggest things in this, it was kind of just getting in the way from me enjoying the movie as much as I could. For a movie that should have ultimately been about everyone uniting, there were so many different side parties.
Yeah.
And I was just waiting for them to join, and it's just, they never did.
They never did. And I think that's why they wrote it like that. Because, like, everybody, you saw the trailers, they're like, yo, fucking Act 3 is going to be him coming just for Vision and Wakanda, and fucking everybody's going to be there.
That's
and,
why
like, and everybody was like, but wait.
They got us.
And they were like, wait, you see him on Titan too. And they're like,
fuck Titan.
Fuck. Maybe that's Act 3. Maybe that's the end of the movie. And they're like, oh yeah, by the way, everybody was wrong. There's 3 different fucking stories going on at the exact same time.
Well, because we knew at some point they had to get to Wakanda.
Right.
But the entire time, I know that obviously they did it on purpose, but the fucking Hulkbuster.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, Tony's there. And of course, he's going to bring his strongest one.
Right.
You don't get how they totally trolled everyone with the trailer when they showed the Hawk in Wakanda running, like it was the Hawk behind everybody, and that never happened.
I saw the Hulkbuster in the trailer.
No, it was the Hulk.
In the thumbnail too.
Really?
It's the Hulk himself in Wakanda, and they did that. I don't know if they did that for marketing or just to kind of throw everybody off.
I think it's to throw everybody off.
But it's the official trailer that they did that in.
The whole Cap stopping his fucking hand was a play on the trailer too. Because that shit was literally, he just blocked it and then Thanos punched him in the face. In the trailer, they made it seem like he held it and they were going to have like this conversation and it like blew Thanos' mind, but he was just like, oh damn, boom, and just put him in the dirt.
He was like,
that's
cool.
all it was.
He was like, you stopped my punch.
It's movie clickbait.
Literally movie clickbait. And I was like, you motherfuckers, man.
Right.
I thought that was going to be a big moment, but I think that's why I enjoyed all of it even more, is because they were just like, you're not going to see it coming.
I didn't like the Hulk thing. Because it was like, obviously he was scared because
he was scared because Thanos whooped his ass.
He had never fought somebody that fucking strong.
That's one thing I loved, because that was, at least just for me, the realization of just like, why is that? And then it clicks when it keeps happening. It's like, oh, it's just because he's scared, because the Hulk, he's very juvenile. He's much like a child.
Yeah, he is a child.
But at first it was like a humor thing. It was just like, oh, that's alright, cool, we're having this fun little thing. But then it got to a point where it was like, even the Hulk has survival instincts.
Right.
Like, he would need, like, it's like fucking...
Like, if he went to grab Banner and squeeze his head, he would have to come out.
Right. He's just like, fuck, I'm going to die. Like, I have to take over.
Yeah.
And he, like, did. And it was just like, oh.
I think it's just a missed opportunity that they didn't do the whole Hulkbuster, him getting his ass kicked.
I would have loved for him to pop
out of the Hulkbuster.
That would have been fun. That's what I was expecting.
Sick.
Right.
But everybody thinks that's going to lead to what they did in the comics, a fucking Banner trying to find a way to split him and Hulk. Because now he realizes Hulk is his own person.
I think it would... I think there's no point to it now. Because other than this moment, like, after the whole thing on that fucking Sakaar or whatever...
The planet where Ragnarok?
They seem to be...
back to normal.
In a more symbiotic relationship.
Right.
Maybe not entirely, but it's not just this... He becomes 100% a rage-induced monster.
And that's mostly Banner's thing. He was just scared about the Hawk, and he knew that everyone hated the Hawk, and he always had control of it. That whole "I'm always angry." It's just like, no, it's just you're not as scared of the Hawk as you were.
Right.
Like, you can control him, and you're actually, proving that to yourself, like, more and more.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that development to the point where, like, he was afraid that the Hulk was going to bust out at any moment, and the Hulk got his time on Sakaar.
Yeah, I think it's Sakaar.
And so now it's like, no, Hulk, I need you to come out. And the Hulk's like, nah. Like,
that's one thing.
So it's completely flipped now. So I kind of like that dynamic of Banner now does sort of have control, but he does embrace the Hulk.
I wish he would have done something to force the Hulk out.
I was kind of waiting on that.
Because
Like,
try
like to pick up,
slapping himself.
no, I
yeah,
mean,
but like pick up a
like-
gun and like shoot him in the head.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he
that
needed
was-
to become the Hulk to fight Abomination. Like,
Right.
he needed to learn to control it. So they put him in a straitjacket and tossed him out of a fucking helicopter and were like, dude, you better be the Hulk by the time you hit the ground.
Right. That's in the original Hulk movie.
Yeah, the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
But apparently they like to forget that that movie fucking exists.
You want to know probably the number
I think
one
that's
thing?
why I thought it was 18. It's like, I forget the Incredible Hulk exists.
Oh, yeah, it was right after Iron Man.
Yeah. You know what probably annoys me about the whole damn movie? Is like,
Oh, don't even get me started.
I know they got the jump on him, but it bothered me that Vision was not utilized.
It's
At
because
all.
he's super powerful. They did that in Civil War too.
Civil War, he was like unfucking stoppable.
That's
and he's
the thing.
supposed to be
In Ultron,
unfucking
he fucking took
stoppable.
Ultron like nothing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And like, yeah, they got the drop on him. Dude stabbed him. I get that. But like, he was literally fucking useless.
The thing
and that bugged the shit out
Why
of me.
did they not also heal him while fucking with the Mind Stone?
Right. Like, I get he was hurt, but like, he's a fucking machine.
Right.
Like, he couldn't fight. He fucked. Like,
Dude,
it just bugged the
fucking-
shit out of me.
Beam everybody.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't use none of that. Fucking nothing, man. Like, it fucking, I don't know.
His whole thing just bothers me. Maybe it's because I don't really know his backstory besides what's in
The
you know
movies.
what we see.
Right.
But it's, I mean, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit just to Civil War with like what happened? Oh, I lost focus. I didn't know you could do that. Neither could I. Like, they have too many of those moments and they're with him.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I would like to.
let's get something to happen. Okay, just because no one really understands Vision, we'll just use that as the excuse.
Nah, yeah. I
He
get that.
he stopped me from phasing, and that's why I didn't do it. Okay.
It's just
Gotcha.
like, yeah, so no one has the manual, so you can get away with anything because no one understands it. It's just, oh, well, it happened, so, that must make sense.
Yeah.
And at the same time, a lot of it doesn't. So, like, I want Vision just, it's mean, but I want him to just stay dead because there's too many, like, conveniences that happen with him.
I think I'll stay dead.
I think he will too.
How about, okay. So,
They need to kill off Scarlet Witch.
I like her fair.
I don't like her.
I like her fair.
Dude, the weirdest part is how they killed off Quicksilver. When, like, they desperately need a fucking speedster.
Yeah, they do.
well, they did that just so Marvel could prove that, hey, we can kill people.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
What they need to do is they kill them both off. And then when they redo the fucking X-Men, we forget Evan Peters as Quicksilver.
I'm not a fan
As
of it
much as I
either.
love, as much as I love them.
I love the
his Quicksilver.
scenes. I love the scenes. that
Bring
he shot.
in actual fucking Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, like with Magneto as their dad.
Yeah. That'd be dope.
See, I really like Scarlet Witch now because it's the same thing. She's figuring out her powers and stuff, and it's all mental shit. Like, it's amazing. You got Peter Parker, who's like 15 years old, and he was given a new suit and mastered it in 10 minutes. That's it. But
Well,
then you have
he
Scarlet Witch just like,
pointed it out though. He blamed Tony for it because of how smart he made the Iron Spider suit.
Right. He blamed him that in Homecoming.
Yeah, not in Homecoming. No, in the new one.
Did he?
Yeah, well, when he's
He
like,
talked
he's
about
like,
his suit in
he,
Homecoming,
well, he
too.
was like, "Kid, I thought I told you to leave," and he was like, "It was your suit. That's your fault for making it so intuitive."
Yeah,
So
but that was
I
more as
think-
like a jab at him too.
But I think that like,
yeah, that was a young kid thing.
But I think the way that it works more, like, it works with Peter, in a sense,
Yeah.
to where it's like, it does its own thing, plus he does it. Because the legs came out, and he was like, "Oh shit, I didn't know I could do that."
Right. The
And
suit
like
just
once,
kind of did it.
right? Once he knew that,
He could use it.
he could do it because like the suit and him kind of became one in a sense.
Although, to be fair, when Tony was making Peter Parker leave, or Spider-Man as he was at the time, weren't they already in space?
Yes.
Like, what's he gonna do? Just
Like
haul a
they
taxi
were
into
pretty
the
much
atmosphere?
out of the atmosphere.
So it's like, where do you want him to go? He was actually saving himself by like shooting like.
The only thing
The
I can
web
think
shit.
of is like
He just couldn't
This-
breathe.
the spider suit can fucking fly too, on some real shit.
I mean, that's why he sent the suit to him real quick and was like, "All right, you
Because
go
he
home."
can't breathe. Now you can jump down and go the fuck home.
And it also gave him a parachute. Because I think even from that height, I'm not sure if Peter could have saved himself.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really think that part through because we would have just been like, you can be in a suit. I mean, I don't know. Marvel can get away with a lot just because they use technology that like
Ant-Man.
we think that. Well, obviously it's going to do that. Why wouldn't they have it do that? So
that movie steps on its own logic.
Mm. If I can ask you guys a question,
What's up?
how did you guys feel about the children of Thanos? Like his henchmen?
His henchmen were fucking dope.
I love the children.
Yeah.
Are they children?
Are they?
Black Order.
I think
They're the Black Order, but they are the children of Thanos.
Okay. I thought they were fucking sick, except for the big fucking axe wielding one.
Yeah, he
I didn't
was
understand
They
him.
needed a brute.
Yeah, they needed the brute.
Loved the preacher guy, and I'm kind of mad that he got killed first.
Yeah,
But
he was dope.
They
now
needed
because
him
it was
to
my favorite
because
reference.
he was
but-
OP.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
But I mean, like, just his whole, like, preaching about Thanos, it really made me, like, cement Thanos as this really big,
Right.
fucking, like
you guys are
universe-destroying
about to
guy.
die by the hands of Thanos.
Right,
because
and
you're-
I think you see him, like, 3 times on 3 different planets preaching, like, here is your salvation. It's
Right.
not destruction, it's
Yeah.
salvation. And I really like that character.
And the other thing I liked is when he talked about, like, when he was telling them about Titan, he was just like, it was random genocide.
Right.
Like, no, it wasn't all the poor people were gonna die, all the, and then all the rich people were gonna live. It was just like, people just died.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, cool, because that, like, to me, that stuck with, like, even though we don't agree with him, like, Thanos 100%
Mentality,
believes
it makes
this,
sense.
and sticks to it.
Yeah.
Because if he was
It's
just
worked.
like, it's overcrowded,
It's
we're
worked
just
for
gonna
him.
kill a bunch of people. He's like, no, I'm gonna kill a lot of them. But, and like, he was talking about Gamora's home planet.
Right.
He was just like, it's thriving.
You see, it bothered me.
Because I
I
killed all
wish
those
he would have, like, done a quick fucking reality stone fucking thing and shown that. Because now we don't know if he was just, not the attack, but after the attack, and it thriving. Because you don't know if that was him just trying to fucking fuck with
Honestly,
Gamora,
I
or
don't
if he's
think-
speaking the truth.
I feel like he was speaking the truth because he honestly had no reason to lie.
Or
Right.
at least show, like, imagine if he had Gamora and, like, on their way to go get the Soul Stone, they passed by Gamora's home planet.
Right.
Because it's still alive, and he's like, yeah, but your people are thriving now because I killed half the planet. It would have been nice for Gamora to see that and to be like, okay, I still don't like you and I don't like what you did, but I kind of
It
understand
kind of
where
makes
you're
sense.
going. Right.
Yeah.
At least give him a little more backup
I mean,
than
'cause-
that.
Because that fucking idea has been around for a while.
Right.
Like, we're overpopulated right now. Like, resources are depleting. Like, if half the planet, like the total population, got fucking wiped out, things would probably be a lot better.
100%.
Not saying let's fucking do that.
Right.
But, I mean, and then it all comes down to who has that right. And, like, that's kind of...
Yeah, well, it's interesting that they actually really didn't stress that. They just kept saying that, like, but you're killing hundreds of people. They never said, well, who are you to, like, decide that? Because then that would kind of set him up to, brag about his power. But another thing that kind of grounded him a little bit was... Because, when, like, you got the villain who just keeps killing to kill, and they're like, well, when is it going to stop? He legitimately is just like, I do that, wipe half the planet, and then I sit and just watch the sunset, and that's a good day for me. And I'm like, okay, so he does...
Yeah, he's
he's not psychotic.
Evil to be evil.
Yeah.
Right. He's got a fucking purpose to it.
It's just, no one agrees with the purpose.
Right.
In his eyes, he
Well,
thinks
that's why
it's right.
Yeah, that's why he said, like, I'm the only one willing to do this.
Because honestly, that is kind of a true sentiment.
It is.
So
Where
we're
it's just
supposed to just believe that, like, he loves people,
Right.
It's kind of weird, because it's just like, yeah, I love
Well,
people, but only half of them. It
was one of those things where he said on Titan that was his idea, was to wipe out half the planet.
well,
And then when Titan went to shit, that kind of cemented where he was just like, yo, no, like, I'm fucking right. I could actually do good, like, quote unquote, for the universe by doing this. I can save people from what happened to my people. Like, forcing himself to be this god, being judge, jury, and executioner for the universe. All because in his mind, he believes that, like, endgame wise, will help out the entire universe.
And plus, he loved no one besides the only person he killed, so it was easy for him to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I
Red
love
Skull.
He really couldn't be challenged. That was interesting. See, they
The
brought
Red
back
Skull.
into it.
Yeah.
They're like, let's not get Hugo Weaving.
And I was thinking, like, because I had saw a forum post about it, and this guy was like, well, yeah, so what does that mean for the superhuman serum? Does that mean, like, you can live forever? Like, do you not age then because he's been there for so long? But then I realized, like, you don't see his feet. He's more of a spirit.
Yeah, he's dead.
Now, his
he
soul
says
is
he's
gone, so yeah, so he's just, like, there. So it has nothing to do with
Because
his age.
he says, my curse, like yours, is knowledge.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because I think, like,
Oh.
I think he teleported there, like, because I won't consider him the Red Skull anymore. But he teleported there as the Red Skull, like, Nazi Red Skull.
Right.
Must have found that fucking platform thing, and then something happened with the Soul Stone, and he was chosen to, like, be this fucking watcher, guardian, fucking thing.
Yeah, he was kind of punished for it.
Another
he couldn't
thing-
wield that power, so
Right.
that's what happened.
Another thing people don't talk about is how did Thanos know Tony's name?
I'm assuming through Loki.
Did Loki say something?
Well, not in this movie, but like he gets the scepter and the Chitauri and everything from Thanos.
Did he know Tony's name?
He did.
Yeah,
because he
calls
said,
him
and
stuff.
Tony's like, how do you know my name? And he says something on the
He
lines
says,
of like,
like, I know
hear
everything or
all
something.
great minds
Right.
or something like that. I know their names.
Yeah.
So
It's something along those
unless it was just him kissing Tony's ass.
I feel
I don't
like
know what
just
else it
Thanos
is.
knows more about the planet than we think. Like he
I mean,
he
he did
watches
send
the
an
planet,
army.
right? Like he seems smart
And he's
enough
been
to
in
where,
the background playing with Earth
right?
forever.
Dude, because like even if all he had done was the Chitauri invasion, he probably would have looked into the Avengers.
Exactly.
Maybe not know everyone else, but he was like that.
Tony
dude's straight
Stark
up Tony
is
Stark.
exactly.
Nah, I think it's just any minute someone leaves Earth, he just gets screamed in.
Well, I
What's the
mean,
name, all the information?
Tony did fall into that like dimensional hole. Yeah. And I was thinking maybe I had something to do with it.
Yeah,
but
that's what I was
like,
implying. He was in
yeah.
space, so he knows everybody.
And I mean, he had those dreams and stuff, not showing Thanos, but like seeing what could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know if like Thanos saw him
That was
in
one
that
thing
light or something.
I liked about this movie. It didn't seem as Iron Man centric as all the other previous shit has. I mean, granted, he was coming up with plans and stuff, but it wasn't like we're gonna do this because I'm sad and guilt tripping everyone. It was just he was getting shit. He was ready to like get fucking married, have an 8 o'clock dinner, and he just nope. This is important. Drop everything right there. Which I could go on and on about how much I hate that Pepper Potts thing.
I think it's just
Honestly,
an internal
I
struggle
don't
with
like
it.
Pepper.
And we do not see her at the end of the movie either. We don't know if she's gone or not. So what
she'll
if
be back
Tony-
in 5 movies.
What if Tony
Dude,
comes back?
she'll be in
and
the
finds out she's
post-credit
there?
scene of Captain Marvel somehow, and then fucking she'll be in Infinity War, and
She's
she'll be
funny,
like,
Steve.
son of a bitch, I have powers. I completely forgot about Iron Man 3. That movie, and then bam, she defeats Thanos in one.
That's
movie.
another thing. Like,
She's the fucking Felicity.
we talked
of
about-
goddamn MCU.
we talked about like Vision not showing his powers and stuff like a whole lot because he's super powerful. So I don't know a whole lot about Captain Marvel, but like I said earlier, like I think she's a female Superman. Honestly, like her trope.
Kind of. Yeah.
So I'm thinking if she's that powerful, is she going to overshadow everybody and just get the job done, or is it going to be one of those things where it's like she'll show her power, and then for the rest of the movies, it's sort of like, oh, I'm stuck, I can't do this.
I'm not sure. Hopefully it's not that.
You know what I really hope? This is fucking the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie. When Jack Sparrow was locked in Davy Jones's locker, and they had to go save him, and then it was a mission once they saved him to bring him back. I legitimately, I mean, either way they'll do it, I'll come to terms with liking it. But if they fucking just reverse time and everyone's back, I'm like, y'all just kind of built all of those deaths up for like a 5-second reversal.
And that's
Right.
why.
I need them to like fucking trek to wherever they're being held, not captive, but like that needs to be something. I mean, all these last movies have been nothing but some giant battle. Like I want them to actually like
Have repercussions.
just throw in that different element, like, you know, like everyone has to strategize not to kill somebody but to like save people, like actually find them. I don't know, I think that would just be more, that's something that I would want to watch more than just the same thing over and over again. People are dying and then not dying and shit like that.
Think of Rogue One, like they got the plan out there and stuff, and
Right.
they're saving a ton of lives, but they also have to sacrifice themselves. And I don't think, if you saw Rogue One, I don't think you anticipated everyone dying.
No.
Because everyone just died, and that was it. That's the last time you're going to see those characters.
See,
You kind of expect them to die too.
What, Rogue One?
Yeah, just because like
they're not in the
they're
fucking
not
original
in
trilogy.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's funny though is
That's my problem with prequels.
Yeah.
Granted, when I watched episodes 1, 2, and 3, I was real fucking little, so I, because like there were times where I'm like, oh shit, like Anakin is in trouble, and I'm just like, oh, that's fucking Darth Vader, and like I didn't fucking know that at the time. Like,
Right.
that shit blew my mind when he became Darth Vader at the end of episode 3. I was like,
mine too.
bro, what the? He's fucking Darth Vader?
Right.
Like, holy shit!
I remember someone spoiled that for me in church when I was like 7 years old or something.
They were just like, hey, God wants you to know that Anakin's Darth Vader.
Yeah, and it's just like, did you know they're the same person? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And now here I am, like 10 million years later, avoiding social networking for like,
I love how
All this
Jeffrey
shit.
commented on your fucking thing.
yeah, someone who.
Did anybody ever
spoiled it.
figure out how he spoiled David?
He told
He
him
told-
about half the people getting wiped.
He literally
Aw.
said people like just disappear.
Gotcha.
Aw.
Yeah.
And then I made a Facebook status just like, I unfriended somebody because someone spoiled it. Joking or not, I did not need that in my head. And then he was
What
just
was
like,
your guys' spoil thing?
mine is
Because you were like, yo, I unfriended 3 people. I've read a little bit. What was yours?
someone posted something on Facebook that said it was like, I just suffered through Infinity War. Now you guys are gonna suffer too. Iron Man dies. And it's like,
That's clever.
I couldn't, it could be true, it could not be true, but it's like, why would you even say something like that?
It's a dick
The
move.
thing about that
So then
is,
I unfriended that person and made that status, and then the first comment I got on that status, and this kind of made me mad because I saw it over Vision. Someone posted the poster with everybody on it, and then had the word dead, 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 dead on whoever died.
Who actually died?
Yeah. Like, on the poster itself, this person wrote who died on, just plastered it right on their face.
Yo,
I
that
saw
person,
Vision,
you're a dick.
and then I deleted it.
See,
or unfriended him.
the
It's
saying Iron
shit.
Man died one is kind of like that whole fucking like psychics.
Mhm.
They just ask you, or like they make very fucking generic statements that like could most likely be true. Because I could have been like, fucking Captain America dies. And you'd be
Dan's
like- you'd
literally
be
walking
like,
around work today like, yo, we saw the movie, just to let you know everybody dies.
I would rather someone say that.
That's what he's telling everybody.
Because it's just like,
Dude, we're trying not
Okay.
to tell Justin. He'd fucking go off the stock beat. And we're like, bro, that fucking part, well,
That's-
goddamn. And then he'd come back
Bro.
in.
Troy comes back. Troy's a black dude. And I'm like, Troy, gotta keep it down, bro. Fucking Griffin's right down here. And he's like, oh, shit. Griffin, hey, everybody dies. He's like, all right, bro, let's get into the real shit. And then, like, at one moment, there was, like, nobody around us. So me and Troy are like, bro, we think it's this, and this. And we're like, all right, here comes Griffin. We gotta shut the fuck up now. And, like, we had, like, a continuous
Dude, that's
conversation
what
over, like, 3 hours because we were worried about everybody.
that's
Yeah,
legitimately
fucking
what I
around.
was doing today. I was just like, hey, did you see it yet? No, I'm just like, okay,
They're like, all right,
stop talking.
I'll go away from you.
Just let him walk past. Okay, now what's up?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
what
basically
we're
what we
trying
did
to
too.
walk up. Dude, me and Dave would be in the middle of a discussion and just start walking. We were like, bro, give us a couple minutes. He'd be like, Infinity War? Like, yeah. All right. He fucking walk away. All right, cool.
People are telling me just like, I'm seeing you Tuesday. See you Tuesday. Just like, okay, good. We'll talk about it then. So
Right.
Keith walks into work today, and I remembered yesterday that he said, yeah, I work at 5, and I'm gonna see it like at 4. The timing's weird, but yeah, he basically saw it right before work. He comes in, looks at me, and his jaw drops. I'm like, oh shit, you did just see it like literally an hour ago. I just hugged him. I'm like, I'm so sorry. And then he's talking about it. I'm just like, shh, he didn't see it yet. Just keep walking.
Yeah, keep walking. Yeah.
But yeah, what the whole like saying, yeah, Iron Man dies, is just like, well, that could happen. It could not happen. It could just be a joke. People did that with Harry Potter all the time. It's just like Snape kills Dumbledore, but it's like everybody always said that, and you knew it to be true. That was spoiled for me.
I never saw it.
And I was about to read the books and everything, and it's just like, okay,
It's way more emotional.
I can get that. You know, these movies have been around for a while. Sure, it's a spoiler. It'd be hard not to say something like that. So when you hear just like those 3 words of like blank kills blank,
See,
and then
the
like-
Snape one's kind of weird because I feel like people weren't theorizing that. Saying
No.
Iron Man died is like because like they said an Avenger dies in Infinity War, like months and months ago.
Which
So
technically is who?
So everyone's like, yo, it has to be Iron Man or fucking Cap
That's what I thought.
because of their contracts are up. Where like it can't be all of these characters that just fucking disappeared because they got sequels.
that's some of the shit that kind of takes the magic out of it. It's like, yeah, we can look at contracts and this movie's slated for this day and this movie's slated for this day.
Yeah.
And it just really makes it hard to like hype up and theorize about it because anybody can be like, oh no, see, technically this person's got a movie coming out with this person in like 5 years, so they technically can't kill him. It's like, okay,
Now-
you're ruining their survival for me
Dude,
at this
and that's,
point, you know?
That's my thing, is that like so when that ending happened, I was just like, sequel.
Right.
Like you have a sequel coming out.
So with everything on social media right now and like YouTube especially, like I've seen so many videos of like people saying like, well, what happens next and
Right.
things like that. And you know, obviously Infinity War's blown up. We've been waiting years for this and stuff. But imagine what we have, what we have right now. Imagine if they did not say anything about contracts or say anything about trailers or upcoming movies or anything. Imagine if they didn't even like say that Ant-Man
I
2 was
would
coming
have walked out of there ready to kill myself.
Exactly.
It would have
Can
been-
you imagine what social like
It would have fucking
movement
destroyed the
would
internet.
have? It would have.
It would have been 100% better for me personally.
It would have to have been for me too.
I
It would have been
legit,
insane.
I couldn't process even what happened. Like, I couldn't even be sad when Peter Parker was dying because I'm like, dude, your movie's coming out next year, like the day before my birthday.
Right.
Why are you
They
dying?
now have
If you
stuff
didn't know
planned.
that, it would be crazy.
It would be.
I've
fucking
talked to
nuts.
people who don't know these movies are coming out,
Right.
and they're like, "Did you see Infinity War? Oh my God, we just got Spider-Man!" And I was like, "Yeah, you'll probably see him again." Like,
Hey, remember in your
At the very end, Stephen Strange, Peter Parker on them will return for Avengers
right?
4.
Exactly.
Like, oh, okay,
Or it's
cool.
like Thanos will return, also Spider-Man,
Right.
maybe not Loki.
Fucking Avengers 4 is gonna be called everyone that died in the last movie still alive. Like, oh, okay.
No,
That's why
I'm
they
hol-
didn't
I'm a-
spoil the title.
I think that I'm betting the title has something with the fucking Soul Gem in it.
It's just gonna say Avengers 4, never gonna give you up. Never gonna
I
let you
hope it
down.
has the Soul Gem name in it. Like Avengers 4, Power of the Soul Gem, or
Soul
Fight
Sisters.
for the Soul Gem, or something. That's what I'm assuming. But
Infinity
at the same
War
time,
2.
or the same that I'd be so fucking pissed at that. But the thing I told Troy at work today, I was like, the biggest reason, it's like we're all right now, everything is just going to be theorized until next year. Like the next big hint at Infinity War 2 will be somewhat Captain Marvel. But like the biggest thing,
post-credit scene almost
that's
be
what I'm
her
saying.
getting the
It's just going to be that. But the biggest thing is going to be us finding out the name of it. Other than that, it's all going to be fucking theorizing. And if it did anything like we've done in the past, remember, we've only had 2 months. Because we were like, we don't really know anything about Infinity War, and then they dropped the trailer, and then we all kind of went crazy. Episode 2 was just about the fucking trailer mostly. Now we have a fucking year. So whatever the fuck is going to happen, it's going to be just like this movie. It's not going to be what anybody expects it to be.
And I'm low-key mad that they, like,
He's dead. So you can't use that word.
You're low key.
Ah.
He's like Thor's brother.
I hate you guys. Alright, so if they didn't like announce Captain Marvel at all, I feel like the end credit scene would have had a little more impact.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people
Dude,
would have been like, well, who's that? And then people would like look it up and be like, I wonder how they're
See,
gonna like
the
nail
thing-
this character.
the thing that
That's-
sucks.
They
But you
do
already
that
have
with
pictures of her on set and shit.
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
do that with everything though.
I
They
kind
do that
of
shit with the CW shows where it'll be like fucking because I don't give a shit.
I think
But
they
they're-
should stop.
They're like Colton Haynes returned for season 7.
Yeah,
and I was
see,
like, all right, go.
That- yeah,
But
that's the thing that I hate too.
No,
They do the same thing with TV
that's
shows.
why
Studios
they-
spoil themselves.
Yeah.
They haven't done it.
But they look at it as, you know the ends, but you don't know how the journey gets there. Because the thing that they love, and it works 100% of the time, is the fucking hype.
I was just gonna say that.
But like,
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I just don't like the whole like.
Because right
Captain
now, yeah,
Marvel,
there's
Ex
a
Machina.
Homecoming 2, there's Guardians 3, there's going to be Black Panther 2, but we have no idea if any of these movies are going to be in the same timeline. All these movies could be fucking prequels.
fucking
we
Flash
have no
is gonna show up
fucking
and be like, wrong franchise. Ain't gonna run away.
like
It's got a
we
Flash
have no
like-
idea
Oh,
what
there's
they
a
could
fast
be.
guy.
Right.
Yeah, Flash is just gonna show up and just rope something else.
It's for something that is so, and I think still is, and I think they will do it until the movie is not in theaters anymore. For something that is so anti-spoiler, they're not really like leaving the mystery in it at all. It's just what's gonna happen. Oh well, you know, pretty much
What?
you can
That's-
guess what's gonna happen
Spoil-
based on everything that we have already shared
Right.
with the world.
It'll just,
Right.
it's like, what happens now that Thanos has all the stones? Spoilers in article. Like, I don't think you understand how this works.
Dude, my God.
Or
yes.
I saw one before the movie. It was the only thing that kind of got spoiled, but even then I didn't know who. It said how that character was recast. Or how the returning character was recast. Who turned out to be Red Skull because he has a Hugo Weaving.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
I didn't like.
Is he
read-
dead or something?
No,
Who-
he
Hugo
said
Weaving?
explicitly that he does not like playing that character, and I'm thinking it's because he's a
Because of the
Nazi.
whole Nazi?
I'll
Yeah,
be
that makes
honest,
sense.
he's like, because I read an article about that night. I went back to my girlfriend's, and it was like, yeah,
He didn't
really-
want that on tape.
He didn't want to be that character because
He's like everyone at Sam's Club in Roundsburg.
That's a throwback. To,
Oh, I'm not editing this, so
Yeah.
there's that.
Right.
Fucking,
Mm. What
remember
was your-
that cameo in fucking episode 3 throwing shit?
Hey, is there anybody that wants somebody to like just be dead? I've already said who I want to stay dead.
In the movies or like real life?
No, real life. No,
Scarlet
movies.
Witch.
No, I was just like, I mean,
You mean like
I have a boss where I
anybody
work.
that's like dead and we
Dude.
want to stay dead?
Like just, you know, they're.
Or do you want that
It's
character
very hard to
not
take
be...
death seriously in this because they like bring anyone
Yeah.
back. It's like, oh no, War Michelle,
100%,
he's dead. Oh, no,
I'm
he's
not gonna
paralyzed.
lie.
Now he walks, you know.
It'll bother the shit out of me. They could bring fucking Loki back, I don't give a shit. They could bring Heimdall back, but I swear to God, if Gamora doesn't stay dead, I'll be pissed.
She has to be alive.
You don't know that. That's why I want her to stay dead. It would be the biggest impact
But
of all the characters
the one
if she
thing
dies.
though is that
Or she stays dead, I'm sorry.
she was the first character that died because of a stone.
Right.
Like Loki was choked out, Heimdall was stabbed. So like, they could pull some whole shit with Gamora and the stone.
And say she's trapped in the stone now.
right.
I know.
Right.
And then
I
after
don't want
They
that.
try to pull.
I want her to
fucking
be
Alex
dead.
brought us some shit earlier that I didn't think of. Fucking Thor doesn't have a weapon anymore. Groot disappeared.
His
His
hand was
arm
gone.
would disappear, and the fucking hammer was inside Thanos.
like the axe was inside Thanos, and he was gone.
Because he teleported away. He said, you should have went for the head. All that happened, and then, like...
Because
they
he
were like,
snaps
"Holy
his
shit."
fingers, and his fucking axe is in his chest.
He doesn't have the axe in his chest when we see him watching the sunset, though.
Exactly, but he
Because
also
he legit
somehow,
reverses time. So then he just didn't get stabbed. But yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, the axe is gone.
Yeah.
After that.
It would happen.
Because like it was in him. He snaps his fingers. He sees Gamora, baby Gamora, and then he just fucking wakes up on that planet.
I think it was pretty cool that
See.
they kind of focused more on Thanos than anybody. That was neat.
They
I
really,
actually I
it
really
really
like
was
that.
a Thanos
Yeah.
movie. We like really got to know.
I
him
told
and his
Ant I was really
motivations.
glad because I expected like the normal bad guy in the movies to where like almost half of the movie was going to be the fucking his minions, children or whatever, and then he was just going to show up and fucking not do anything. But I was like, nah, dude, he was in like every scene, if not every other scene.
Yeah, I read
And I
something
love the
today
fuck out of
that
it.
said Thanos had the most screen time. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, he really did.
That's amazing. You have all of these people, and yet the one dude had the most screen time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too.
And to counter what you said earlier, Austin, I think, because I'm agreeing with you, right?
It's Gamora.
I think that her death and Loki's death and Vision's death, I think those are just actual deaths.
Yep.
And Heimdall, but I mean, you know, he was cool, but you kind of forget
Well,
he's there until he's
in,
there.
in
Right.
Heimdall, his power was that he ruled the Bifrost
Right.
with his sword.
He can control it.
Right, and what him. he
And
could
now
see
Thor can
everywhere.
control it with the
Right,
axe.
and now, right. But it was, I don't know, it was still a little.
Are you sure you don't see him holding it after?
No.
I swear to God, you see him
I
holding it.
may have to watch it again just to be sure.
I'm not
But
watching
if
the
it's
movie.
made out of, I mean, they could just be like, well, it wasn't
It's
attached
part
to
of the
Groot,
axe now.
so now
Well, it's part of the axe
but-
now. It's using the axe power. It doesn't disappear.
But then the
That's-
axe was still in Thanos.
Well, you don't. It could have dropped.
Being inside of him?
Just the one half.
You never
No,
know.
like the entire, like it was like sticking out like this much, like a couple inches. Like the axe was fucking in him.
It would have killed him, but Thanos was like, yeah, you should have aimed for the head because I could still.
But
do
it,
that.
yeah, but it was like in.
So what does that mean if it's?
I wonder, well, like when Thanos like, because we didn't then
That-
see
the
him
other thing
use
I didn't think
Jim's-
of?
the gem's powers.
No,
he
we didn't.
snapped his fingers, and it honestly could have been that when he did that, like he also healed himself or something. You know, like he fucking was just like, cool, this shit it doesn't exist. I'm fucking healed. That axe isn't in there. Whatever.
The other thing you got to think of too is what else can Thor do? He can manifest his weapons. Even though you didn't see him holding it, he should be able to summon the axe just like he could Mjolnir.
Yeah, but
Because it's his weapon now.
yeah, but
I highly doubt Thanos took it with him wherever he went. That's what I'm getting at.
it really bugs me that they gave him the axe. Because like they set it up and like that like
They kept saying hammer.
they kept saying hammer and fucking Thor was like I don't remember the fucking Peter Dinklage's character's name, but he was just like
Giant dwarf.
he was like every thing you've made is in your head. And I was
Right.
like, oh shit, he's gonna remember how to fucking make a new hammer.
Oh.
And I like
damn.
how Peter Dinklage was the biggest person of all.
Yep.
Yeah, it was,
I was like, I'm fucking it's Peter Dinklage being
You know
all
what's funny is
Jesus.
I said something to Ant in the theater next to him. I was like, yo, I like how, I was like, I know how the conversation went down with Peter Dinklage. I was like, they were like, Peter, we want you to play the dwarf in our movie. And he's like, God damn it, I'm tired of playing dwarf. And he's like, wait.
We're gonna make you a.
You're the biggest dwarf.
Right.
And then Ant sent me the link the next morning that was the top comment that somebody fucking said on Reddit about how this is how, and it was my I swear it was fucking verbatim of what I told him. He was like, bro, somebody else said the same shit. I was like, I know that's what happened.
One thing I wish that they would have done more.
They were like, they're a dwarf to the huge giants.
I don't know.
Right.
So he's 8 feet tall, and the giants are 25 feet tall.
Right.
It's like, oh shit, he is a dwarf compared to them.
I kind of wish they would have committed way more to this movie. I know Marvel is famous for its jokes and stuff, but for how serious of a story that this was, a lot of them just kind of took it out. They kind of just removed you from just what was happening. If I don't know if they just could have committed to how like serious it was. I don't
That's
know.
why they put all the funny people on one team.
Yeah.
I
Like,
hated that. It was so
like, we had-
distracting.
Well, I mean, but that was the thing, is that like all the jokes were only in those scenes. There weren't really any jokes with like Vision and all them fighting Wakanda.
Yeah, the only thing that was really the only joke was fucking Falcon saying, "This is all funny."
Yeah,
When fucking Banner walked in.
The whole, like, you know, Thor and all the Guardians of the Galaxy, that was, I think, the most confusing part of the movie for me, is because, you know, everybody was just talking. Just like, this person's saying something funny, this person's trying to come up with a plan, this person is trying to figure out who to team up with. I'm like, can we just, like, kind of keep it together? But granted, that's how the characters were and everything. A lot of that was just...
Well, the other issue that I had with it is that
There's a lot of issues tonight.
James Gunn, that's good. It wasn't
Yeah.
perfect.
No,
I'm not gonna be some just like, oh fuck it, it was dope. Like it was dope, but it didn't, you know. But like, James Gunn said that he contributed lines to it, and I feel like it was a whole collective when it came to trying to write the parts, because like you want this to be an Avengers movie, but you want your Guardian characters to be the Guardian characters.
Right.
And I feel like to do that, you need insight to people that have been writing.
So they got James Gunn, the guy that writes Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right. So it was like they took Guardians of the Galaxy's humor and fucking threw it in there.
Yeah.
Because, like, honestly, when you think about it, the Russo brothers did fucking Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
No, Winter Soldier or Civil War. Maybe both.
They did. I think they did both. I know they did Civil War, guaranteed.
But, like, in that one was kind of a more serious take.
Right. Because, like, you can tell it was James Gunn that wrote the Guardian stuff because fucking the Drax shit had me fucking rolling.
Dude,
Like-
how come in Volume 2 he just became, like, really
The
funny?
funniest thing ever. Yeah.
Who?
I'm not Drax.
Because he
Oh,
was
yeah.
dumb. I mean, as strong as he was, he kept messing up.
And
So
Dave
they had to give him
Bautista
some
does a
redeeming
really
quality.
good job at acting dumb.
Yeah.
That,
Dude, he took so many classes, I read, before the first Avengers.
oh, really?
The first Guardians, because he didn't want to mess it up.
Well, good for him.
That's
I mean,
good.
When he got the part, he went to, like, acting classes.
Well, he always played an aggressive villain.
That's
So
funny.
when they
that's-
were like,
Did
they
you ever-
want an aggressive, funny
Dude,
guy.
did you guys ever see, like, what he has to go through to get in his Drax makeup?
Oh no, I can only
Like,
fucking imagine.
He's got these bars that, like, come up to his sides. He has to hold on to them with his arms out. And then he has to sit still for, like, 8 hours while they put his fucking makeup on.
I don't get how they do that.
Fucking dude, fucking
Jesus.
Chris Pratt or them were just like, dude, I never saw him like complain or like wince once. He just sat there like.
Fuck that. That's nuts. It's kind of like them talking about the Mystique one. About
Yeah.
hers is like one of the most
Oh,
complex
yeah.
ones.
She had to sit on a bicycle seat.
Yeah.
And I get that that's then why. So like when we watch Supergirl, they made fucking John like Hank Henshaw
Right. Not
because
fucking,
they don't want the money and all the time. It's easier to be like, hey man, like. Just you're gonna
Just
punch
blow
stuff
his eyes
and we're gonna
red.
make it look like you're really strong, as opposed to like him turning into the Martian Manhunter.
Right.
You lost me in Supergirl. Sorry.
No, it
No,
was, but
yeah,
I
you're
mean,
good. It
it's,
was
it's
most
one
of
of
it.
those.
It's just you can tell like
And
it's
dude,
a whole
even
like
when you
budget
watch
thing.
even when you watch shows, like you can, like you don't do it with the movies because their budget is so huge.
Yeah.
But we're watching like fucking Legends of Tomorrow, and we're just like, bro, like this one character, his power is to like steal up, like
He's
he
like
covers
Colossus.
himself and steals.
Yeah.
But for like 3 episodes, he wasn't doing that. He was just getting his ass beat. And everybody's like, bro, what the fuck? And then like the last episode had this crazy CGI fight between a demon and a giant stuffed animal. It was a good fucking show.
Spoiler alert.
And you were just like, oh, okay.
They were
saving
literally
their fucking
not
budget.
making him use his power, so they didn't have to use that money. And they said that, like,
Right.
at an
And
interview,
they-
they were like, "Oh, just to let you know, that's why a lot of the
Right.
stuff was toned down the past 2 or 3 episodes, and we literally put every penny they had into the CGI in the last episode of the season."
Hmm.
You don't realize how expensive that shit is.
Yeah.
Like in that one, it's the one Family Guy Star Wars. They said they wouldn't let us do something. So here's this animated elephant. This animated elephant pops up on the screen and then goes off screen, and it was like, you see that? that's cost $10,000. I was like, that could. It was like that could have went to like leukemia or like it was like, what does Michael J. Fox have? ... That. Like it was,
You know that's the big reason why they went back to Thor's eye. They the whole eye patch thing. They said they were actually trying an eye patch and it wasn't working, and then they actually in Ragnarok had it CGI whatever, and you know that probably is a pain in the ass. So that's honestly why they probably did the eye thing, is just to avoid it. I don't think it was like a whole X-Men thing where they need to reverse everything because they didn't like what the other directors did with the movies. But that was just probably one of those things. You know what? Let's not fuck with an eye patch. Let's just go back to regular Thor.
I mean, the thing that's crazy is like people realize that is a lot harder. Like, fucking, there were scenes in Justice League where they had to CGI. His fucking mustache off, and everyone just said, "Well, that's simple." It's like, nah, it fucking takes fucking time to do.
Mm-hmm.
I did like though that they kept his eye brown.
Yeah, they're different colors. That was neat.
It would have bugged me if he was if he like put that in there and then he was like, all right, I'm normal Thor again. Like the eye like was normal like Thor eye, but they fucking kept it brown for the rest of the movie. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like
they've legitimately, like, the character development is fucking amazing. They've legitimately made him just a comedic relief. He's the number one. Like, I think he's even funnier. He's got more funnier moments than Chris Pratt does in any of the movies. No, Thor.
I do like his interaction with Rocket though when he's talking about why he's doing this.
Right.
And you know, just realizing how much Thor has like lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
over
like,
these, you know, last few movies.
legitimately, not even like Ragnarok all happens in a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like in that time he lost his dad, his fucking sister, which I mean that really doesn't count.
Right.
But like
lost my hammer yesterday, so that's
his
pretty
fucking,
fresh.
His hammer, his fucking home, and then like right as it's like this big happy fucking ending. Like it sucks that we're leaving Asgard behind, but we're gonna start something new. And then half of your fucking people get wiped out. Your brother dies. Your best friend dies. All in like I'll give it like a month.
Yeah, I give it like maybe a month, if that.
Being generous, but even all that shit in a month is intense as fuck.
Yeah.
All right, I know me and you mentioned it because me and Aussie did the same thing you did last night. We were like, I was like, yo, fucking Rocket's there, and he's like, no, he's not. Rocket fucking not. So we looked up, we double checked the list of the people that have disappeared,
Rocket's
or not,
alive,
or whatever. Yeah. Rocket was one of the ones that was alive.
He was the only Guardian that survived besides Nebula.
That's why I thought he died.
Yeah,
because
Aussie was like, why would they leave
and
one?
then I was like, then I was like, why would he be the only one that died?
But we were looking into it, like, do you think, since we didn't really see anything that happened with the whole, like, Asgardian attack, you know, other than, like, the end of it, do you think, like, the Valkyrie girl, or whatever the hell her name was from Ragnarok is still alive, the axe-wielding dude from, you know, like, Thor 1 and 2, their group, like, their whole, like,
Didn't
Thor's...
Carl Urban already die, though?
Oh, yeah, he did.
He died in Ragnarok. The guy that took over for Heimdall.
Destroy that guy.
Yeah.
I'm not worried. I'm talking about the guys from, like, Thor 1. Like, his posse.
Oh. I'm pretty sure they died by Hela.
Yeah, Hela killed him. Like,
really?
we saw them die.
Yeah, all of them.
She fucking stabbed all of them.
Fuck.
With her swords, yeah.
I wonder if they'll ever do Lady Sif.
So that means
like,
the only one is the Valkyrie girl then.
Because like the only reason why Valkyrie was in Ragnarok was because the actress that played Lady Sif couldn't be in it. And honestly, I like Valkyrie a lot better.
I like her a lot.
Now.
Yeah, but I mean, well, and the other thing is that
she's a realistic love interest, or just
right.
a companion to Thor.
Like Thor says that like sticking with Thanos' fucking whatever, half of the Asgardians were killed. So like he's not the only one alive.
See, I didn't hear that.
He says that, and that's before Thanos snaps his fingers.
I'm pretty sure all of Asgard is dead.
That's what I got from all of that too.
He says he's not the only one alive.
Because you're talking about when he's like discussing it with Rocket, right?
Well, because what happened is at the end of Ragnarok, they got everyone on that ship, and then the first scene of Infinity War, Everyone's just walking over dead
The
bodies. on
dead
that
bodies,
ship.
dead bodies.
That's
Why
it.
would they leave half of those people alive on the ship?
Because that's what Thanos does.
No, I'm pretty sure they were like dead before that. Like everyone was dead. Like it was just.
They weren't dead before Thanos got there, though.
Well, they were okay. Maybe they didn't show the whole ship, but I thought that like they were just walking over all these dead bodies, and Thor, when he was talking to Rocket, was just like, "Yeah, Asgard's dead. Like everybody's dead because they killed everyone on the ship."
Oh.
Yeah, but they didn't show Korg or anybody. That's weird.
See, it's a little weird though because if you see the children of Thanos, like some of them were
Fucking
explicitly stabbing
Russo
people.
one of the Russo brothers confirmed that Valkyrie and some of the Asgardians survived.
Oh, okay.
Because that
Russo
was
said escape pods ferried those survivors away from the battle, giving the Asgardian race the chance to escape extinction. It is very possible that Valkyrie was charged with overseeing the evacuation since
That's
most
why
of
we
the
didn't see
Asgardians
it.
refugees.
I mean, it does make sense. It'd be very hard for
But-
a movie like Infinity War to hold your hand through everything and
Right.
But it's
answer
then
all your questions.
so half of them we'll go with half. Were another half then wiped out by the Infinity Gauntlet? So there's only a
Right.
quarter,
A quarter
of the
of them
Asgardians
left.
alive.
Who knows? Yeah. It's kind of. I think one of the things that I wanted them to explain, and it's not even a big explanation, but it's why did they do it? Is nobody fucking mentioned why? I mean, I think I figured it out today, but why they dyed Black Widow's hair? Something as iconic as her red hair, and they change it and don't mention it at all.
I just
It's
kind of
like-
went with like
They went
She's-
undercover.
Yeah,
I think it's
they
because-
they still technically are on the
Well,
cover.
That's why he's got a beard, and that's why she's got the hair. But it's like, why not mention that? Like, why? If you're not going to mention it, why would you even
Especially
change
Banner.
it? You know?
I actually took it as they've kind of shed their old identities.
Right.
Like he doesn't like
He
Cap
doesn't use
is
an actual
wearing
shield.
all black.
Yeah, he's wearing all black
the,
now.
The
He has
A
no.
isn't on him anymore. He doesn't have like the fucking stars and stripes.
Right.
Like they are like refugees in a sense. Like they still call him Cap,
Right.
but like I don't think.
Like even when he said, "Get this man a shield," like it wasn't like
I
a
actually
Captain
really
America
liked
shield,
that one
where it was like the one
because I liked that it
and
was
then it like
pointy.
came
It
out.
was like punch him motherfucker.
and he had two of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just sweet.
It was just. It's just.
I love that he was running next to T'Challa.
T'Challa.
You
He
got.
fucking took off. I was like, oh, there's that super soldier shit.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like.
telling you, that's why I love Winter Soldier, man. That fucking opening scene where he's chasing Winter Soldier and he's just running through doors and like doorways. I was like, God damn, they wanted to show how fucking badass he is in this movie. And then the big opening scene where he's just like sneaking around, destroying all the soldiers on the boat. And I was like, God damn, this movie's dope as fuck. And fucking Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
That's probably my favorite.
I don't know. It just that was just one nitpicking detail that really bothered me. I'm like, you got all these people that make fun of each other and comment about everything, but she's got platinum blonde hair and nobody said a goddamn thing. That was just one little thing that bothered me.
Yeah.
I just think a lot of them kind of. There may be more to it than that, but
It could
to
be.
me it was just kind of like they've kind of shed their identities because then no one also explains how Vision is human looking,
That's it. Yeah.
He does it himself.
but like
It's part of his powers.
that's weird.
But
He can do that.
I love that he still has he has skin over his fucking mind stone.
They
that's
also
why
did
I
that
don't
in
like
Civil
her.
War too.
Yeah.
In Civil War, he
In Civil
looked
War, he
human,
looks
still
human.
had his uniform on, and you
Yeah.
could still see the stones.
That's why I just don't like his character because they just do whatever the fuck they want and just.
That's why it bugged me that he wasn't utilized.
Ugh.
Hurts me.
What's your guys' favorite part about Infinity War?
The whole movie?
Or a favorite scene?
Favorite scene.
Favorite
I
part?
liked their coming together when they were trying to remove the gauntlet off of Thanos. It's that was clearly a well thought out plan. Okay, no, strike that. I mean that part was cool, but I think as far as well thought out plans, it was Peter Parker's plan of the
Alien.
the piercing of the
The
spaceship
fucking hole?
and him flying out. Just
Can we
like
talk about
that was good.
Wasn't that in the fucking third one?
It was in 1, 2, and 3.
Was it? Okay.
I was gonna say they did it,
It is
in
a
one.
trope in every
Okay.
Alien.
Yeah.
Because I remember that that's
'Cause I
how
hadn't
they
seen
fuck-
Aliens
that's
or
how they
Alien
killed
3.
Mhm.
like her kid alien fucking.
Oh, this is why I'm
creepy-
cool.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys are talking about the alien,
Yeah.
which I've never
Yeah.
seen.
It also
Yeah.
happens in Alien Covenant
Alright.
on a bigger scale. But yeah, no, it's a trope.
Yeah, I think he
I
just
could-
meant.
I could-
I think he just meant like, have you
Well,
seen the Aliens movie? Not
Yeah, because he was like, well, he
the
said
actual Aliens.
right, because it's
like,
alien,
two, right.
aliens, and then
Right.
the one.
But I think he
that
just
are-
meant like just the.
Hey,
the
have you guys
Aliens
seen that
movie.
really old movie, Alien? It's like, I like it. It's my favorite.
All right, so my favorite
Dude,
part.
honestly, mine might be them keeping his hand from closing. Like they were all
Trying to get
doing,
the gauntlet out, or like
yeah,
the
well,
end?
they wouldn't let him close his hands because
Yeah.
that's how he like used
That's
his
his
powers.
power.
That's why I like
So they
it.
like threw that fucking thing in his hand and he couldn't
Yeah.
close it. Like everything was fucking real dope.
I think that was why it was one of my favorite parts, is because everybody was so close to Thanos, and I was scared because I'm like,
Dude, he
is he
Dude,
playing?
destroy
Because
you.
he can, like, you guys are just fucking just holding him.
Dude,
Yeah.
like honestly,
What the fuck's he gonna do?
the scariest
That was-
part of the whole fucking movie is like right before he stabs Tony.
yeah.
Because like you're seeing that like the nanobots can't like form the fucking suit fast enough. It's like you see him come up and then he'd like fucking hit him and they go away and you're just like, dude, they're not gonna get up, and he fucking stabs him and you're like, what the fuck?
I'm just like, dude, there's no one. Okay. That's one thing that bothered me. Is like, where the fuck was everyone hiding? It's like the minute they're done, like Tony's getting his ass whooped. It's like, all right, another person pops up. It's like, are you guys just like, just sitting on the bench waiting for you to be tagged in right now? It's like, why are you guys taking turns? You guys are all together.
Like fucking Peter not remembering their names. I got you and I got
I got
you.
you.
And I don't remember your names. I'm sorry.
I'm bad with names. He was, I think, one of the best things about that movie was just his genuine
Kid.
like, yeah, he just genuinely wanted to help out. He was still like,
And I like how
I
they
loved him.
didn't he mention like Star Wars and Civil War? Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
mission.
Have you
mission
seen
of-
that really
Well,
old
yeah.
movie, Empire
Okay.
Strikes Back?
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
fucking Cap was
Okay.
like, seriously, Tony, how old is this kid? Like,
Yeah, that's right.
Why didn't
I was
Corbin
curious
date him?
about that because when he was like, "Have you seen the fucking Aliens movie?" I was like, they gave him another one of those lines, and I loved it.
That's.
I love that him and Peter and Quill, Star Lord, like actually talked about that.
Yeah.
He's like, you see
Is
Footloose?
You
it
seen
still
Footloose?
the best movie ever? It never was.
He was like, "Yeah, it never was no."
Just like, I love him because it's not forced humor. That's just him.
It's just him.
And it's fucking adorable. But I also really
He was
love.
like, you human?
I really love.
He was like, the half of me that's dumb is the half that's human, and that's 100% of you.
And the people are just like, yeah, I try to calculate that. I'm like, I mean, 100% sense.
Yeah,
to me. I'm just
100%.
like,
Yeah, he was like,
Half of-
he's like, my
yeah.
dumb half is my human half. You're 100% human, so you're 100% dumb. Say one thing, his powers would have really come in handy though.
Who's powers? Who are we talking about?
Quill's. His like powers that he had because of his dad.
Yeah. Why did
And
they
it-
forget about that shit? He
Well,
pissed
I'm
me
pretty
off
sure
the most.
when Ego blew up,
He lost.
he
it.
lost his powers.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it
Well,
was
shit.
his connection, like, to
With
Ego or whatever
Ego,
the fuck
right.
Ego's powers
It's
were.
so hard for me to grasp everything that these movies throw at you, just because it's
you
just stuff that we don't comprehend.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that was one of the. That's probably another thing that like slightly bothered me. Like, out of the two people I thought were gonna be completely fucking dope, they weren't, and it was Vision and fucking Strange.
so
It bothered the hell out of me. Strange
because
was
they're
not
overpowered.
fucking insane.
okay, so
Why
which,
not use that?
So which character and what they did piss you guys off the most?
Strange.
It would be Strange.
Even Thanos points out.
He's
you
like, dude,
didn't
why
use your
aren't
best
you
weapon."
using it? Like, not even that. Like when they're on the street and they first come out of the fucking bunker and they're seeing home, dude. Like, put them in the mirror world and fucking walk away, dude.
I don't think the
I
mirror world
get-
would have worked because the more I thought about it, the fucking things that the fuck I don't know.
The preacher,
fucking
I
name.
like that.
The preacher. His
The
things
Yeah.
use like this look like the mirror world.
It
stuff.
kinda
It's
did.
what like they look like what Caecilius summoned in like fucking
Was
three.
throwing at people. Yeah, no, I get that too. But I was just like, they were like, yeah, especially like the number one thing is like containment and making sure fucking nobody's hurt. And then that was like the whole reason for the mirror world, and so you could fight them not in the real world. He could have put him, Wong, fucking Hulk, and everybody, and Tony, and they all could have fought in the fucking mirror world, and they didn't. And that bugged the shit out of me.
You think the Infinity Gauntlet would have had any effect on that world?
It did. You see him try and
He,
put
punches
Thanos in it, but he's already got the reality stone at that point, and he
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
punches it, and it just goes back to normal. I get why he didn't use it on Thanos, but it bugged me it didn't open it in that opening scene.
See, okay, that thing with Doctor Strange, I saw 14 million different ways and one way worked. I'm like, okay, how the fuck's one way? Like that, people were saying that. I was mad that it was just as simple as that. Only one way worked. Whatever, I get that, and it's just.
And it was the way where he got all 6 Infinity Stones, and that's why
Yeah.
it was the only way.
I'm the only one apparently that didn't fucking catch that at the end of the movie because I'm a
I
fucking
didn't
moron.
catch it either.
Because apparently I'm a moron.
I had to think
I was talking
about
to everybody at work, and they're like, "Yeah, bro, I totally got that from the movie."
Doctor Strange, right before he disappears, he goes, "Tony, it was the only way," which most likely means that giving
The way that
Thanos
he
the
saw
time
us
one,
win
it was
is
that.
giving him the fucking stone. I did not
But,
get that.
dude, the thing that now gets me is that they can catch Thanos off guard. He's done. Like, he did what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing I didn't like. Is just because Doctor Strange was kind of douchey in that movie,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I can't tell if he's saying that was the only way because he actually, gained heart for Iron Man,
No.
or if because he knew it was right. So I'm like, all right, only he knows what's going on, so I'm going to be just a little bothered by that. But I think the person that pissed me off the most that I could actually understand was Quill.
Yeah.
Is what, like, I
Getting
understand.
mad at the Gamora.
Like, he just came up and he, did that dance thing, and he's like, oh, yeah, what's up, bro? I'm like, all right, dude. Like, they're having a serious moment right now, and you, have done nothing besides just,
Dude,
taught
the
him.
thing that bugged me is that they don't take Quill out. Like, you can tell him to stop 100 times, but you can't blast him. Been at the end, go over and fucking apologize to him. Like, yo, my bad, I didn't mean to fucking blast you, but we had to get this off.
Did
That
he
part
did he
just
have
made-
a point of pulling it off?
Dude,
Yeah,
it
he
came
was-
off.
No.
It was
no,
off, yeah.
But I meant other than him to stand in front of him and taunt him, was Quill actually helping?
No.
No, well,
So
the
that
thing
means
was,
he could have
Distracted him
blasted.
for a second, and that was it.
And that was it, right?
well, no, it's,
So that means they could have. Tony could have went yep and put him away, right? Because he wasn't
Well, he was still shooting him, distracting and everything, so he...
But once
he
Mantis
played-
got a hold of him,
he
he was no
could've
reason
just
for.
stepped off
He
to
could
the
have stepped away, right? That's what I thought. Okay.
what I didn't like is that he came up to him and he's like, oh, yeah, what's up? My plan, by the way, I'm like, okay, so if it's your plan, why are you the only one ruining it?
Right.
Like, fucking Peter Parker is trying as hard as he can. He was the one that got it off.
Yeah.
And it's like, you fucking ruined your own plan. One, this is no time for you to be a douche. I hate when they let their arrogance get in the way. That just really bothered me. It's like, 2 seconds. You could have waited 2 seconds. But no, everyone's telling him to stop.
What would they? What would they?
Dude,
gonna do
he's
with
like,
it?
Quill, stop, Quill. It's like, dude, fucking blast him.
Right.
I
Like,
mean, they
real
stayed
fast.
true to his character, though, because even in the comics with Infinity War, every time the Guardians of the Galaxy, find Thanos or come into contact with him, Quill is always, the douchey. He doesn't take Thanos seriously. He doesn't take him seriously at all. I mean, unlike, obviously Gamora and Nebula. I mean, they
Well,
hear
they're
a
like,
whole bunch
yo.
of stuff, and,
Right.
his whole team is Thanos-eccentric. You know what I mean? Kill Thanos, kill Thanos. So, I think his character's just I don't give a fuck. Everybody
what
wants
are
to
they gonna do
kill
with
him.
the gauntlet?
They just needed it off of him.
Just so he couldn't.
And he could get it back from them. He's still strong. Was
Dude,
Peter
if
gonna
one-
take
dude.
it, run away?
If one of them would have put it on, that's what, in the comics, that's what Adam Warlock does.
I don't know if any
Fucking
of them can handle it.
Nebula has
And
it.
they're saying that Nebula's going to put it on and reverse shit that happened.
Because fucking Nebula wreaks havoc with it. Adam Warlock goes into the Soul Stone's world, has a connection with the other stones, and stops it, puts the gauntlet on, and fucking restores peace.
I just
Done.
appreciated that was a solid plan.
Yeah, 100%.
It was working. You felt the tension. You got this little weak Mantis is pretty much the one holding him down.
Holding him down.
and then fucking he just ruins it. I mean, he had the right to be sad, but it's like you had a question. You could have just waited a little bit. I mean, that part just legitimately bothered me.
Dude, that
because
and
it's like,
Thanos low key isn't
What, Loki?
that
Yeah.
isn't that
We're gonna say
good
it, man.
without the gauntlet.
Right.
there's actually a part where Austin said Loki like probably an hour ago, and I didn't mention anything about it. That's cool.
But he's not that great. Like, he's really strong.
Right.
But his whole thing
his
was the
race
fact
is
that
because
he had
he
a
has
stone.
He has a fucking tesseract on his hand.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was like, dude, without the gauntlet, like, he would have been wrecked.
Yeah.
Like, fucking Steve would have rocked his shit.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Thanos.
Like, without the gauntlet, he's
I
just
asked
really
what they
strong.
were doing with the gauntlet. Like, Tony could have just whooped his ass without
Dude,
the gauntlet on his
honestly,
hand.
I think without the gauntlet, fucking Peter could have begun.
Yeah. Because he's just strong.
Well,
Yeah, he's
okay.
strong, quick.
Well, hold on. Did he have anything when he started whooping Hulk's ass?
Yeah.
He had.
He didn't have the tesseract yet, but he had the first one.
Okay, but what does the stones? Because it seems like it's like in a video game where you actually have to equip that power. Like
He
just
just
because he has a
acts-
stone, he's just like stronger. Like
No,
does
he
power
just-
flow through him or something?
When he put in the second stone, like
He
each
gained
time
more.
he did, power did kind of surge through him, and I
Right.
assume it did it with the first one.
Yeah, I just I'm really curious if that's how it actually those actually
But
work.
like Hawk, I get the Hawk lost, but like that may have been like an arrogance thing. But I think fucking Tony and Spider-Man being there, Doctor
Yeah.
Strange being there,
Yeah, he would have got his shit pushed
he
in.
would have fucking lost.
Although it does make sense now to think about it because you never saw him hit one of the stones, do a button, do like some hand maneuver thing. Anything he wanted to happen, he just thought it would happen.
Right.
So I think that's how the Infinity Gauntlet
That,
works.
and like when you look at it, like Peter was doing damage to him when he was hitting him, because fucking Strange would like open a portal, and he kept fucking Spider-Man would jump out, punch him, land in another portal,
Right.
come through,
out
like,
another one
like
and
those
punch him.
hits
Yeah.
weren't he wasn't just like bouncing off of Thanos.
No, he was like
fucking connecting it.
It was
Right.
what? Did anyone catch what he was saying?
Yeah, he was like
He kept saying something every time he hit him.
He was like hit, jump, hit, kick,
Yeah,
like low kick, like shit.
Yeah, like low kick and
I
shit.
loved it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, alright. What was everybody's favorite moments? Yeah, Tyler said yours was the plan. You know, everybody.
My
got
favorite,
that.
it's just everything with Spider-Man. I
Yeah.
fucking love Spider-Man. I loved, it's sad, I loved Doctor Strange before this movie. After this
Yeah.
movie, he irritated me.
Yeah.
I feel like he just went back to being Stephen Strange.
I think he's good too.
He's kind of always been arrogant.
Yeah. Alright, I'll see. What was yours?
I already said it.
Did you?
Yeah, when they were keeping his hands from closing. Just
Oh.
that whole sequence.
Just the whole
Yeah.
sequence.
Yeah.
Alright, Alex, what were yours? Be?
I got 2.
I know what your number one. I already know that.
My number 1. I'm just gonna get that one out of the way because I love it. I love it. But the whole interaction with Rocket Raccoon and the Winter Soldier and Bucky.
Hey, fucking picking him up.
That's my favorite. How much for the gun? It's not for sale. Well, what about the arm? I'm gonna get that arm.
Get that on. It's like, I thought about it, I'm just like, why does he have a thing with people's limbs and body parts?
It's
Like,
that, and he
fantastic.
loves weapons.
And he's a
I
thief.
love that.
And
you
he's
know?
a thief, and he loves weapons.
And my second part, which I hear nobody bring up,
Oh,
but
please.
I think it's super cool,
Say it.
is the whole three-way, three-way heroine, fighting against one of the children of Thanos on the battlefield.
Oh.
Who was it?
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch,
Cody,
Black Widow.
I don't know how to.
it's
Black Widow, and it's like Okoye.
Yeah, Black Panther's bodyguard.
It's
Yeah.
just okay.
And I thought that was super, super cool. I don't know if they drew inspiration from Wonder Woman or not.
I mean, make the
it's-
females dope.
Well, no. I mean, that's easy for anybody to say oh, well, they did that because of Wonder Woman. But the subtle things there, you had all 3 of them, right? And it was obviously the 3 women superheroes against the woman children of Thanos.
Right.
So they were fighting her 3-on-1, but at the same time it was also in a battlefield, and it was in a trench.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and like the big blades were going over them and stuff. I thought it was a real like high
lifting
octane,
her up into that shit.
right? A very
was
very
pretty cool.
exciting
Yeah,
fight.
The thing with it's funny. I know the actress's name. Her name is like Danae, but the bald, Black Panther lady. It's just like, why haven't we kept her down here the whole time? And the minute Scarlet Witch was down there, one of the villains. I don't know anybody's names in this. I can. Unless
No,
they wear
hell
name
no.
tags, I'm not
Right,
gonna know
right.
anybody's names.
Nope.
They're just like, okay, she's gone. And then they get after Vision. I'm just like, well, that answers your question of why Scarlet Witch was there, because she was
Right.
probably the best. That's what her biggest thing is. She uses it offensively, but it's all defense.
Yeah.
She's nothing but like a human shield.
Yep.
And like, well, there you go. That's why that happened. No, one last favorite part, and it is Drax, but that specific scene.
I'm talking about
Just
being
like-
invisible.
No, that
I
I
was doing
was
that shit cutting me.
I was dying, but it's just like, where is Gamora? I got one more up on you. Who is Gamora? I got one more up on you. Why is
Why is
Gamora?
Gamora?
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I love him so much.
But him doing that slow shit, I was doing that. I was like dying. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm moving so slow. You can't see
You
me.
can't see me. He's like,
I can definitely see you.
He was like, well, hi, Drax.
Damn it. All right, Ryan. Who's your favorite?
my favorite moment.
That's when all the dudes.
All right, guys, we are out of time today.
Get the fuck out of here. We got 5 minutes, bitch. No, mine would be. It's really hard. I really don't want to like.
You don't want to spoil it.
No, not that. I don't want to choose your guys's, but it would definitely be up there with them fighting Thanos on Titan, like trying to keep it, taking the glove off. But like, I don't know, man. I think everybody gearing up in Wakanda was dope. Because like they get there with Vision, and like he fucking reunites with Bucky, and like just them lining up in the line. It was just like fucking everybody suit
Ooh,
up.
I fucking
Right.
loved
It
how
just-
fast Captain America ran through that. I'm just like,
Yeah.
holy shit!
Yeah,
this is
like
fucking quick.
him out there, and like T'Challa being like on par with Cap out there, just destroying shit. I was like, this is fucking dope.
Dude, no, the
And
thing
then
was-
like Rhodes come by and does like a goddamn
yeah.
like wave of just bombs.
drops
Right.
all the missiles. Yeah.
I was just like, God
Dude,
damn,
the thing
dude.
that was crazy is when fucking Black Panther's like fucking main security, she realized how devoted these creatures were, because she was like, dude, they're killing themselves.
Right.
Like they were just going through it. They
Yeah.
would die or they'd fucking make it to the other side.
No, yeah, I really enjoyed their team up to stop the fucking thing. It was dope as fuck.
Alright. Dude, overlooked line that made me laugh is when fucking Tony invited Wong to his wedding.
Yeah, you're about to
They
my
do
wedding.
something, he's Wong, you're invited to my wedding, and then he fucking took off after it.
One thing, I mean, a lot of the shit I just don't like, because it's like, of course, someone's got to be better than somebody, but the sister, Black Panther's little sister,
Mhm.
smarter
being
than,
smart.
smarter than Banner. It's like, well, why didn't you just do this? Because we didn't think about it. Like, cool, so, fucking Wakanda's got everything, Black
Yeah.
Panther's like the #1 superhero movie of all time, at least just an individual thing, and now she's smarter than everybody. I'm like, you know what, cool, I'm glad somebody figured it out, but it's like, why even have these smart-ass people if you just got this little girl who just does everything?
Well, I
That
give
probably
her,
sounded
like,
really bad for me to say, but it's like, come
No,
No,
on.
it sounds
at the-
weird.
at the
It's like
same-
we could all go through the same schools, but if you go to a better school, you're gonna have a better education. And like, what
She's just
better
had the
way
better,
than being like the
technology.
princess of Wakanda?
And
Right.
with all the technology. Yeah.
Especially
Goddamn black privilege.
yeah. The only
sorry.
thing, the only thing that
Wakanda black privilege. Goddamn it.
the only thing that kind of bothered me, like he said, is it was a Banner and Tony collective. It was both of their brains creating fucking Ultron, or
Yeah.
slash.
Like, to see them work together, and she's just like, why didn't you just do this?
And like neither him
Dude,
or Tony thought
the
of
thing
that.
that's funny is like they try to act like Tony and Bruce are like, yeah, we kind of create a vision. It's like, yo, I kind of remember Thor stepping.
Thor doing it right.
Because he had his fucking vision.
Legit, I just thought about that. Like, if Thor was there, he legit would have just decapitated him. because he's the one that like makes all those decisions, whereas everyone's fighting him. He's just like, no, just keep fighting. I'm just gonna do my thing, and like, boom, I did what I wanted to do.
Dude, I like that he was like, ever since Ragnarok, he's kind of like become the God of Thunder. Like, and realized that he was born.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't the hammer like fucking Odin said. So like, when he fucking came down, he didn't come down in a bolt of lightning and then just start hacking at people.
No.
He came to fucking lightning bolts were coming out of he was throwing his fucking hammer. He went up and took out their fucking ships using lightning and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fucking dope.
I'm glad that they did mention that it was Thanos' killing weapon, because me and you were talking about it earlier, of just like, yeah, he spent all of Ragnarok,
learning that he doesn't need a fucking weapon.
and then he spends like a good 10, 20 minutes. I need the weapon. I need the weapon. And
Right.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
but just because that alone, like, because I was impressed when it actually like went through him and did damage.
Yeah.
It's like, shit, it
Yeah.
was... Yeah, because he was fucking stopping it, and he was, like, flying to him, and, like, Thanos was realizing that he wasn't actually being able to deflect what Thanos was doing.
That's
Yeah.
What can I say?
I'm on quiz.
It's Infinity War spoilers.
Oh, shit, I don't want to know anything about those.
Don't they?
All right, guys. Well, the last thing I want to add is me and Aussie looked into it last night. Is we were talking about how we weren't sure how fucking Ant-Man and the Wasp was gonna fucking play into it, right?
Oh, I read
Well,
about that earlier.
yeah, they said that Ant-Man and the Wasp goes along the events of Infinity War. So the end of the Ant-Man movie is going to be the end of the Infinity War movie, the way he snaps his fingers, and then
They fucking get Michelle Pfeiffer back in the sheep.
and then most of the people are going to disappear. It'll be Scott that disappears. It'll be the Wasp that disappears. Something, and then literally the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp is at the exact same time as Infinity War.
Oh, yeah, I also saw something much simpler, that it was just in the Ant-Man and Wasp trailer, he's on house arrest.
Right, which is what they said in the movie.
Just something. Is that what? Okay.
She
I was
said,
mad that I didn't
Yeah.
remember what they said
Yeah,
about.
they literally said they signed deals to sign with their
Yeah.
family, and they're both on house arrest.
I felt really dumb because they either said Clint or they said Barton, which I know was Hawkeye, but they said, I think it was Clint and Scott, and I'm like, fucking Scott. And then they said Ant-Man, and I was like, holy shit, I forgot his name.
Yeah.
You piece, don't fucking show me that shit. Kill yourself. God damn it.
I love those memes, but
Fuck
they're
that.
so sad.
Fuck that whole episode.
I don't know what that is.
I have no idea what it is either.
Okay.
Futurama.
Dude,
Is it the
so
Futurama
in
about
Fut-
the
in
dog?
Futurama.
Okay. Alright, before we get on to that,
we'll talk about
alright,
it. It's
so
sad shit.
does anybody have anything else to add before we end it?
Dude, there's so much I don't want to talk about.
Fuck it.
A Rocket Raccoon and Winter Soldier movie needs to happen.
Oh, how about one of, like, legitimately the best part of the movie? When snapped.
It broke it.
Like, the theater, just the theater we were in, it went
It was a wave.
all black.
Yeah.
You felt that going through you. I'm like, like, what just happened was just intensified. Like,
It
100%.
got you because it
That was
fucking
awesome.
snapped. And then, like, they were like, did nothing
Can
happen?
happen.
Like, it resonated. It's just like,
Yeah.
holy shit, he actually did fucking snap. Because we thought he was. I thought he wasn't going to.
I
Well,
think it
because
was-
And then he snapped and
it was more metaphorical the entire movie, where it's
Right.
like, dude, literally with the snap of his fingers,
He could.
and then he fucking
he went-
snapped his fingers.
Yeah.
I like had my mouth, or I had my hands over my mouth, and like Rachel next to me was laughing at me, and I was like, "Don't laugh! Like this is some serious shit."
Right.
That's one thing that the writers did very well, is they actually let us, like, relate to the characters in the movie.
Because
Of just like, what just happened? We were able to
and
resonate.
the character
and they were
resonate, and they're
also-
like, "What the fuck is happening?" And I'm looking at Alex like literally looked at him, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" I legit
Yeah.
fucking said that. I was like, "What the fuck?" And then it went to fucking Spider-Man with Tony, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like,
Yeah.
God damn
You're
it.
freaking out.
it was just way too much. I couldn't say a whole damn thing during that. I think I laughed. I did laugh. I laughed at Drax. But it was, for as sad as it was
was so
very
fucking
well
good.
done.
Very well done.
Very well done movie.
I
Yeah.
love just the effect, the act, crash going into that.
Yeah.
I was also just like, oh, cool, look, cleanup is easy. No one's there.
Right.
You know, no one's got to.
No one's got to pick up bodies or anything.
That was nice. The end credits where it's just like, you know, people are crashing, but then they're gone. It's like, oh shit, that's because people in the outside world have died. You know, that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
It was very well done.
All right. Well, David was a faggot for not joining us tonight, but
David, I hope you're listening to this. You could have had fun and speculate with us, but nah, fam.
well, that's
Yeah,
episode 3. We'll have to actually potentially continue doing this since it's been kind of on hiatus a little bit there, but. All right. We'll catch y'all later.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Aw, Steve.
Oh, later. I'm reading theories.
Bye.
It never ends.
Bye.